Hey everybody, welcome to AnyScale Modelling Painting. In today's video I'm going to be taking a look at some products from Redgrass Games. This is a French company which sort of originated I think on Kickstarter. So there's three products basically I'm going to be testing, or four I suppose. First one being the Everlasting Wet Palette. I've never really used a wet palette before, so I'm quite excited to use that because I waste far too much paint, so this is hopefully going to be the answer. The second thing is going to be the 360 ergonomic paint handle, which I saw on their Kickstarter. I forgot to back it, but thankfully they've put that out to the general public now. And then finally is two of their brushes. These are the Kolinsky hair brushes in size 2 and 00. So we'll start with the paint palette and then we'll see what you think. So first up then we've got the Studio XL Everlasting Wet Palette. This is the complete pack, so this basically has everything you need straight out the bat, so you haven't got to go off and buy anything else. The paint size of this one is 20 by 30 centimeters, so plenty of paint surface there for, I don't know, I reckon one sheet would last you, I don't know, the amount I paint probably a week maybe, so you're probably looking 12 months out of this. But obviously you can buy everything separately, so if you want another pad or sheets or anything, you just buy them separately. There is a smaller one, an orange one, that's pretty much half the size of this, so if you put two orange ones side by side it would make up this one. So it just pretty much depends how much you want to, how much area you want and how much you paint really. So first out are the two foam hydration pads, and these obviously as I've used these, if you take them out and let the water dry, they sort of go in like a real stiff, so if you fold it in, fold it in half, it'll just sort of stiffen up. But just run it under the tap and it just sort of flops straight back. These are your 50 hydration sheets that they've given you, but obviously like I said before, you can just order more, and there's no seepage, so you just peel them off when you finish with them. The other thing that comes with it, which is quite good, it'll pop up in a minute, is a bit of an elastic band. So once you open it, just shut the lid down, get your paint in it, put the elastic band over it, and then sort of, as long as you leave it sort of upright, flat, you could pick this off your table, go down to your local sort of hobby shop, or take it to work, or wherever wherever you do your painting. Just fine, it won't leak. The next thing is this little wavy tool, which is quite good because obviously your oils and your washes and stuff probably don't need thinning down, so you can always just stick them in the end there, or fill them up, a couple of them up with a bit of water or something. The first time you open it, it does say on their website that it's a bit stiff, and this one was quite stiff to open. But once it is, that's pretty much, it's easy to open it from then on. So yeah, that's basically it. It's got it's really well done, to be fair. I mean, it's well made. It's just looks solid. So yeah, like I said, I can't compare it to other wet palettes, but as it stands now, I'm pretty impressed with that. The next thing, like I'll show you with the wavy tool, on one of the sides and the backs there are little sort of magnets, as you can see on the side there. If I find the right side, there you go, just click it in and it just moves around with you, so you won't sort of accidentally knock it, or so it just stays there. It's great. And then it's one of the brushes now going on, so you just once you're finished, you put your brush in that little indentation there and your brushes won't roll off. So yeah, great little thing. I'll now show you how to set it up, and then I'll show you a few little videos of me just sort of painting with it really. So first thing is get yourself your hydration pad, and just stick that in the bottom, and also get yourself a jug of water or a bowl of water. I went for a bowl. Don't just throw it on willy-nilly, because there is a sort of a technique to it, and what you want to do is put enough on it so it completely saturates the foam, but don't put too much in it so the water level exceeds the top of the foam, because that's when it'll start flooding your paper, and pretty much render it useless. Well, not useless as such, but it's you'll have more trouble if your water gets on your paint. It might be too thin. So yeah, just little and often, just keep adding it till you've completely covered it, and then once you've done that, I'll show you what it should look like once you've done it. So once you've got it to the sort of fill level, as you squeeze your finger, you should just be able to see it just run up a little bit, you know, around the sides of your fingers, and that's pretty much where it wants to be. Like I said before, don't let it exceed the height. Don't just chuck water in there, because you will flood the paper. The next thing, excuse me, is to get the so your sort of your hydration paper, and basically just light over the top. You will notice that it sort of curls in the edges, and it obviously, as you put it on now, it will find where it wants to sit just by sort of gently dropping it over the top. But then, as you'll notice now, the bottom start and the top curls. But just run your finger over it. Try not to get the edges too wet. Straighten it out, and that's pretty much your palette set up. You know, I'm probably making it sound more complicated than it is, but no, as a complete novice, yeah, first time work treat. So this paint is a Citadel paint. I'll give it a quick shake, but it's not massively thin, so I thought I'd give this a go, just by basically just blobbing it on. The thing I would say, if you're using a wet palette, if you're just doing like a sort of a single base coat of sort of blue for your Space Marines or whatever, it probably might be more beneficial to just stick it in a pot and just do it in one go. I have found with this, I will primarily use this when it comes down to the sort of the final details and nitty gritty of the sort of the figures you've got. You can have 30 different colours, so if you do run over on one colour, so I don't know, so you're painting black and you've just gone over it with a bit of red, your black is still there wet, ready to go, so you haven't got to get all your other paints back out. This is a size 2 brush. I'll give you a quick thing with the brush. Great little brushes, to be fair. Probably one of the better brushes I've had. Yeah, keeps a fine point on it, and as you can tell with the palette now, just thinned out beautifully. That, so it's, yeah, great. You know, I can't at the minute find a fault with it, so yeah, great, would recommend it. And as you can see there, nice smooth paint. Yeah, really good. I'll show you a little bit more now. I just did take this orange one off now, just to see there was no seepage, which there wasn't. And I've replaced it with a bit of red, so I'll just leave you with a bit of footage of me using the smaller brush. Yeah, so after this I'll move on and show you the painting handle. So last up is the 360 ergonomic paint holder, and this is the one I missed out on Kickstarter, so I'm glad they've put this out for sort of general sale, because it looks pretty good, and I am quite excited to get my hands on this, to be fair. I have got a Citadel one, which was life-changing when I picked that up, so I'm hoping this one will be able to knock it off the top spot, and yeah, it just looks good. It just seems a bit more universal, the fact it hasn't got a clamp on it, and you just stick a putty on it, which, you know, you just stick whatever you want, doesn't have to be of a round base, and it just looks a little bit less clumsy, to be fair, because I've got quite big hands, so the Citadel one doesn't really pose that much of a problem for me, but this just seems to fit your hands better. In it, obviously, you get your paint holder in 3 colours. I think you get light grey, dark grey, or black, so I went for the light grey one, and then you get this little sort of roller putty. It's sort of directions on the back there of how much putty it takes to fill, so you just get your sharp hobby knife and just cut the required amount. So yeah, right there I reckon, yeah, so cut there, and then basically just roll it into a ball and squeeze it over the top. So once the potty's on, it's literally as simple as just getting the figure you want and just squeezing it on the top, and that's basically it. So there's no sort of mucking about trying to split them and spread the grips. Yeah, that's it. I think it's become my new favourite paint holder, just out of ease and just a bit more refined, I suppose, and the price point as well. I'll stick them up at the end, but I think for the price you can't really go wrong. So I'll leave you with a bit of the video. I do put a car on it in a minute, it does fall off, but I was giving it some proper welly, and I don't think the situation's ever going to come up where you're flicking it as hard as I was. So yeah, I'll leave you with the rest of the video, and obviously some pictures and prices are coming up. But yeah, verdict really, paint palette, great. I can't see at the minute there's any problems or there's nothing they've missed putting in the box. The brushes, like I said, some of the best brushes I've probably had. A little bit more on the sort of pricey side for your sort of standards beginner painter. But as long as you look after them, I think they'll last your lifetime. And I say this is my favourite product, just for sort of simple ease. But anyway, I'll leave you with the rest, and I hope you enjoy the video anyway. That's the end of the video, so I hope you enjoyed that, and if you did, pop me a like. If there's anything else you want me to cover, stick it in the comments below, or any questions, I will get back to you. And as always, if you like the channel, subscribe. You can also support my Patreon page for as little as $1 a month, and in you doing so will just sort of help me create more videos, sort of more giveaways and stuff. But yeah, hope you enjoy the video, and I'll see you again next time.